Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I hope everyone is having a terrific Tuesday. This is our Hot Topic Tuesday. Let me adjust my camera just so there we go. There we go. I hope everyone is having a terrific Tuesday on this Hot Topic Tuesday. As you all know, we are here every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Please, if you are here, please like and share this with your communities, with your friends, with your family. We are talking about pride tonight. We are talking about pride. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. If you're on, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please feel free to comment and say who you are. Comment, say who you are, and share this with your circle. Share this with your family, with your friends. I'm excited about tonight's topic because it is very interesting to me. And, a lot of people don't want to talk about pride because it's something that we deal with. It's something that plagues us. It's something that, we have too much pride to actually talk about or address. So I'm kind of hyped to talk about this tonight. So I'm just sharing with a few people, and I hope that you will share as well as you come on. Just go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. I'm excited tonight. I came on earlier, and I thank you all for those of you that were able to support and get on and watch the live from earlier today. My random pop-up, my midday motivation. I'm just grateful that you all are supporting and rocking out with me because you don't really have to. So I'm grateful. I appreciate it. I'm honored that you all take the time to be a part of everything that I'm doing because I don't count it as robbery. I count it a privilege and an honor. And that's one thing that we're talking about as far as pride tonight, because a lot of times people think that people owe them something, or they think that they've arrived to a certain level, or they may not even be as successful as they should be, but because they have pride, they think they are. And they think that, they're a certain place or doing certain things. So people owe them the respect or owe them the honor. And that's not necessarily the case. I don't think that anyone owes me anything. So everybody that supports, likes, and shares, I'm grateful. And I'm just so excited to be able to share tonight. So I'm just asking that you share this, with your circles. I'm asking that you do that. So we're talking about pride tonight. So what is pride? What is pride? What is it about? And how do people handle pride? How do people, when it comes to pride, what happens when people have pride? Now, one thing I do know, when I read about pride, it's very destructive. It's something that, people deal with, that they try to hide and mask as if they don't have pride. And when I think about pride, I think about like people needing help in some area, and they don't want to share the fact that they need help. They don't want to share the fact that they're struggling in an area, and they actually do need help with something. They need help with this thing that they're struggling with, and they don't want to express the fact that they need the help, or the hand out, the hand up. Not a hand out, a hand up. And the Bible says that pride goeth before a fall, which means pride comes before destruction. So if you have pride, pretty soon you're going to destruct. You're going to self-destruct because you're too high and mighty, or too up there to ask for help. So in my research, I kind of did a little thing just to educate myself about pride. And I did 6 steps to that pride ruins your life. Six ways that pride can ruin your life. And pride can lead to poor choices, and it can based on trying to want to maintain your image, it can lead to bad choices. So you might be prideful and think, I have to do things a certain way because I'm trying to keep an image. I'm trying to keep myself looking a certain way so that I don't, look bad to people. And in reality, you need help. You need to change some things about yourself, or you need a hand up, or you need, you have issues and you need help, you need assistance. But because your pride is in the mind. Pride starts in the mind. And because you're so prideful, you won't go seek help for that situation. You'd rather handle it on your own, and you really can't, but you'll do your best to try to handle it on your own because you're so prideful, right? You got this arrogance about you or this ego that says you don't need help because you've got it all together. When the truth of the matter is you don't have it together. You don't have it under control. You can't do it on your own. So you need to go reach for help. So it can lead to poor choices. It can lead to you, spending money where you don't have money to spend because you didn't ask for help. It can lead to you, running out of gas or running out of resources or, not having enough food because you were afraid to reach out to somebody and say, hey, listen, can I borrow a few dollars until the next week when I get paid? Or, can you help me out with some food until I'm able to buy some food on my own? It's this stigma. It's this stigma that says that we're not supposed to ask for help when we get to a certain level or when we get to a certain age. We're not supposed to ask for help. We're not supposed to reach to our brothers and sisters. There's a song called Lean on Me. And I like the song because it says you can call on me, brother, when you need a hand. God didn't create, and I say this all the time, we weren't created to be islands. We weren't created to be in this world by ourselves. We were actually created to help each other. We are helpers one to another, which means that we can't have pride. We can't have pride. We can't be so boastful in ourselves and think that we don't need help or we can't help somebody else because we're a certain stature. So I like this topic of pride tonight. Excuse me. I like this topic of pride tonight because so many things happen that are negative when it comes to pride. And I was talking to my husband last night or tonight. Ooh, I'm saying last night. I was talking to my husband tonight, I guess because I talk to him every night. But I was talking to my husband and I said, babe, what do you think of when you talk about pride? And we were discussing pride and how it affects people's lives in a negative way. But we were also talking about pride because everyone that knows my husband knows that he's a veteran. And we were talking about pride, like in serving our country. Like you can be proud that you serve the country, or proud that you're a firefighter, or proud that you're some type of service person, or even proud that you're a teacher, that you impact lives, or proud that you're a pastor, or proud that you have a job that impacts people, proud that you are, a healthcare worker or a massage therapist or a counselor, proud that you give a service. That's a different type of pride because you take joy in what your gift is to be able to be a lifter, someone that contributes to society. There's different types of pride, but the pride that I want to talk about tonight is the destructive pride, the pride that says that I'm in a certain situation or I'm of a certain stature, so I can't reach out for help, or, I have to do things a certain way because I'm too good to, get anything from anybody else, or I'm too good to accept something from someone else. And on my podcast, those of you that listen to the podcast yesterday, those of you that listened to it, I was talking about different things. And one of my topics that I said was, don't be afraid to ask for help and don't be afraid to help others. And sometimes we get afraid to ask for help or even help others because of this pride that starts up here. Pride is a mental thing. And it's a mental thing that says, well, I have to have it all together. And I have to have, things, I have to be prim and proper. And I have to look a certain way or act a certain way because I'm expected to do this. And sometimes we put unrealistic expectations on ourselves, and nobody's even expecting us to do this. No one's holding us to these unrealistic standards that we put on ourselves because of this pride that we have in our brain. It's okay to be human. It's okay to have flaws, and it's definitely okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. Everybody needs somebody sometimes. And that's the way we were created. That's why God created marriage, because we need each other. God didn't want us to be alone. He didn't want us to be alone. He didn't want us to be, if we were supposed to be islands, he would have made one person. He would have made Adam and stopped with Adam. But instead he made Adam and Eve. Because we're not supposed to do this life thing alone. That's why you have couples. That's why you have families, sisters, brothers, aunties, uncles. You're supposed to be able to lean on each other. So let's talk about the next part. Number 2, pride can cause you to be unapologetic. You can have pride and you might do somebody wrong. You might do something wrong or offend somebody, but you're too prideful. You're too, puffed up to say, I'm sorry. There have been people that have gone to their grave with unforgiveness or not gotten things right with you because they were too proud to say, I'm sorry. That's the thing. That is a real thing that people have, lived their whole entire life knowing that they did something wrong or knowing that they offended somebody. But because they're so proud and too prideful, they didn't apologize. They didn't go to the person and say, you know what? I made a mistake. I made a bad choice. I lied to you. I hurt you. I cursed you. I did whatever. And I'm sorry. I'm apologetic. Please forgive me. So there's a lot of unforgiveness in the grave. That's cold. That's a bad thought. Like there's a lot of people that have, wow. So it can cause you to be unapologetic. It can cause you to feel like, I don't want to apologize because I have too much pride. And then pride will cause you to feel like if you apologize, it makes you less than a person. It makes you less than perfect. It makes you lower than that person. Why do we have that mindset that we're lower than someone if we go apologize to them? Why do we have a mindset that if we apologize to someone or if we go get something right, it lowers us? It actually makes you greater. It makes you a better person. It makes you, more honorable. If you can humble yourself enough to say, I apologize. I was wrong. If you are humble enough to admit that you did wrong, and you can go to that person and say, listen, I'm human. I made a mistake. Please forgive me, and mean it. Let me tell you something about this pride thing. My husband, right? Two things about my husband. So he would always say, and he's probably watching right now. He say, yup, in the background. He would say, I want you to acknowledge what you did. And in my world, because I had so much pride at one point in my life, I'd be like, you know what? I said I was sorry. Whatever. I said I was sorry. Get over it. You're good. You cool. Get over it. I said I was sorry. But because of pride, I didn't acknowledge what I actually did. I just said sorry because that was enough to put a smooth it over. That was enough to shut him up for the moment. That was enough to be like, okay, I did that. I checked the box. I said I was sorry, but when you are really apologetic and you drop your pride, you begin to acknowledge, okay, this is what I did wrong. And these are the steps that I need to take in order to make sure I don't do this again, because we don't want to walk in offense. We don't want to just walk around offending people. We don't want to walk around just hurting people and causing them pain, because then we're becoming narcissistic. We're becoming people that create hurt on purpose. We're becoming people that, we're creating patterns of pain. We don't want to create patterns of pain. We actually want to, live healthy, whole lives. So don't let pride keep you from be apologetic, and don't let pride make you make poor choices. It's okay to ask for help. For example, yesterday I was doing my podcast, and my husband knows that when I talk, most of my lives are only about 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes if I get excited and God takes over. But my average live is about 20, 25 minutes. So he actually went on and got me some talking points. Yes, we use talking points as speakers. We don't always know I don't have enough pride to say I know everything, because I don't know everything. There's sometimes I have to take notes. There's times I get talking points. My husband got my talking points yesterday, and he made me look hella good, okay? He made me look so good, and I appreciate that. But I don't have too much pride to say that I can't use talking points. I don't have so much pride to say that I can't use help, because everybody needs some help. We're talking about pride tonight. Those of you that are on, I thank you so much for jumping on. I thank you so much for joining. I thank you so much for being a part of this. Please share this. Please share this, because pride will cause us to self-destruct. Pride will cause us to lose out on things that are blessings. Pride will cause us to miss out on so many different things, so many different connections. If we don't humble ourselves and realize that we have too much pride, or we don't need to have pride, then it'll cause issues. Like, pride can cause you to be unapologetic. The next point is pride leads to comparison and lack of contentment. Wow. Pride leads to comparison and lack of contentment. So if I have pride and say I live in a house, right? My house is an older house, right? But I have too much pride and I want to go get a better house. Or let's even talk about cars, because I see someone else have a Benz and I got a Nissan. So I will overextend myself to go get this Benz, the C230, because old boy down the street or old lady down the street got a C230, and I have too much pride to say that I'm too I have to have the best thing. I have to have something better than the next person because I have pride, and they have to know who I am, and they have to see that I have just as much good stuff as they do, and I have to prove something. Pride will cause you to feel like you have to prove something to somebody. Pride will cause you to live in debt. Pride will cause you to max out credit cards and spend money that you don't have, trying to keep up with the so-called Joneses, trying to keep up with somebody else. I know I'm talking real tonight. Pride will really cause you to do things out of character. Pride will cause you to, like I said, they got a Benz, so I got to get a Benz. They got a bigger house, I got to get a bigger house. How many people have seen that happen in real life? Like, oh, they got the Birkin, I got to get the Birkin. They got the new dress, I got to get the new dress. Oh, sister girl got her hair done, I got to get her. Listen, I don't have my nails done because I don't have anything to prove to anybody. And yes, I miss Lady Tweeting. And for so long, I felt like I had to live up to certain standards. But listen, let me tell you something. As long as my face is done and I'm presentable, I'm not out here looking raggedy, I'm okay with that, because there's two different types of pride. There's a self-pride. I take pride in myself, and I thank God that he's allowed me breath in my body so I can be presentable to the general public. And then there's the pride that says I'm too good to be a certain way. I'm too good to look average. I'm too good to not have a Benz. I'm too good to not have the latest iPhone. I'm too good not to have the best of the best. That's a pride that will cause you to live in comparison. That kind of pride will cause you to be unapologetic. That kind of pride will not let you be content. You will never be content because you'll always be trying to get the next best thing. You'll never be happy where you are because you're always trying to get better and better and better and better. Not because you're competing with the old you. You're competing with your neighbor. You're competing with the person that doesn't even probably know you're competing with them because they're content in themselves. They're happy with what they have, but you're so busy competing with what they have, they're not even noticing the competition. They're just living their everyday life. And that's a sad place to be. That's a very sad place to be. Pride can cause you to have anxiety because you're trying to keep up with so much and you're so worried about the wrong thing. And listen, I'm a witness. I had the wrong type of pride for so many years, and I thank God that I'm finally free. So tonight, it was just on my spirit to just talk about pride, because I can talk about things that I've been. I can tell on myself. I can talk about the places that I've gone. Number 4, pride can cause you to be inconsiderate. You can be inconsiderate because you have pride. One particular person comes to mind, and as I'm thinking about this, I know my husband is probably thinking about the same person. He said, nope. We pray for people that have too much pride because they become inconsiderate to other people. Oh, I'm too good to do this. I'm too good to do that. You can't come in my house if you're a certain way. You can't come around me if you smell a certain way or if you look a certain way, or, I can only help you if you fit into my box or what I want you to do. If I want you to be a certain type of way, you're not my caliber of person because I have too much pride to deal with you. Pride can cause you to hurt some people's feelings and be inconsiderate. You can be so inconsiderate of how people are, and pride can even make you, there's a thing called being fashionably late. I don't like that because you have too much pride. You got to make a grand entrance. You got to be so grandiose. This thing that I'm reading, the talking points that I'm reading says, are you always late? Do you fail to think about your actions? Are you inconsiderate of people's time? Do you have too much pride to take a moment to understand that other people's time is important? Being late all the time, and I hate being late, that's a form of pride because you think that your time is too important or too valuable over someone else's time. So you lollygag, and then when you show up to an event, you have to make a fashionable late statement. You have to make a grand entrance, and it might not even be an event about you. It's not your birthday. It's not your celebration. It's not even your anniversary, but you had to make your grand entrance because you have pride. The pride of life can take you out of here. You have too much pride. You have to put on a show. You have to be so grandiose when we're not even supposed to do that. You have to be considerate of other people's feelings and of their time. You have to do unto, and Luke 6:31, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people how you want to be treated. Don't make a grand entrance. If it's not your birthday, if it's not your celebration, you don't deserve a grand entrance. You're having too much pride. You're being inconsiderate of other people and their feelings. I can go on and on about inconsideration because I used to be inconsiderate. I didn't care what anybody else thought about me, said about me, felt about me. I didn't care. I was so grandiose. I was feeling myself. Beyonce has a song and I loved it. I'm feeling myself. But why? Why? I shouldn't think more highly of myself than I ought to. That's Bible. God didn't create me to be many gods. There's this thing that we know about demigods, many gods. No, we were created in his image means that we have arms and legs like him. We have, we're a human figure. We were created in his likeness. That means we're not animals. But people take that out of context, meaning saying that we're many gods. We are not many gods. We don't have the same power that God has. Now he endows us with power, but we're not supposed to think that we're on God's level. We shouldn't have that much pride in ourselves to think that we're so great. Because if we were, we would know it all, right? So number 5, pride, and I segued into this. Pride causes us to trust our thoughts more than God's thoughts. Let me say that again. Let me read it correctly because I read it wrong. Pride causes you to trust your thoughts more than God's truth. Pride causes you to trust your thoughts more than God's truth. What does that mean? So you have your own thoughts, but God, just like I said, treat others how you want to be treated. That's Bible. I just said it differently. You shouldn't think of yourself more highly than you ought. That's Bible. I said it differently. Exalting yourself above where you should be, thinking that you're a demigod. It just said it. Number 5. I'm so excited about that. Pride causes you to trust your thoughts more than God's truth. Pride causes you to have a big head, basically. Lately, I've been praying, God, don't let me get a big head. Don't let me think that I'm more grand than I am. Don't let me blow up so much in my own mind that I'm too pompous and pious to love on my neighbor, to love on my husband, to love on my children, to love on my family. Don't let me get so grandiose within myself that I'm my own fan. You have people like that, and that's sad. They have this whole rap sheet about who they are, what they've done, and you got one member in your audience, and that's you. Nobody wants to deal with you because you're so pompous and pious, and you're so arrogant. That's the word I'm looking for. You're so arrogant. Pride causes arrogance. The last one, pride destroys relationships. I can go on and on and on about how pride can destroy a relationship. Let me tell you something. I have ruined so many relationships. Number 1, because I was afraid to say I'm sorry. Number 2, because I thought I was too good to say sorry. I thought I was the stuff. They owe me. They did me wrong. Well, guess what? Sometimes even when you're not wrong, you apologize to be the bigger person. And it's okay to drop your pride. Pride, number 6 says, pride will cause you to destroy relationships. Pride destroys so many relationships because we're too afraid to say I'm sorry. We borrow money and can't pay it back, and we're too afraid to say we can't pay it back. Can I get on a payment plan? We're too prideful to say I love you. We're too prideful to say I made a mistake. We're too prideful. I know I walked heavy tonight. I know, a lot of people may not like this live, not because I'm so great, but because pride is a real issue. I dealt with pride. I felt like I was too good, or I had to have them. Let me tell you something. My phone right here, this right here, my honey's on my screen. This right here, I downgraded my phone, and God allowed me to downgrade, not because, whatever, but I had to have the latest iPhone that came out whenever it came out. And I was competing with the fact that I had to have the best. I had to have the watch that came out. I just got the iPad because I'm spoiled. I had too much pride to have a normal tablet because I had to have iPhone or Apple products. And I'm sorry, Apple, I'm not trying to give y'all free advertisement. But listen, I had to have the best of the best because I thought I was so great. I downgraded my phone. My phone is jacked up. Let me tell you something. My touch don't work. But God has taken me through a humbling process. I have to do voice to text, not because I can't afford to get the next phone, but God allowed me to go through this, and it's a humbling way that I'm in because I had so much pride. I could have splurged and went and got the next phone, but pride causes you. Number one was pride causes you to make decisions that are destructive. Pride causes you to do things that will ruin other things. So I splurged on getting the phone or getting something, and then, oh, we gotta make the car payment. We gotta figure out the car payment, figure out the rent, figure out this, figure out that. But I got the latest iPhone. How about that? How about, growing up, my dad always told me a story about how some of his friends had the best cars, but you go in their house and they're sitting on crates, like milk crates, and they don't have couches or furniture. That's not a slight to them or talking negative about them. It's just that the priorities are off because they have pride and how to have the best car. A lot of times it's said that people wear all their money. You got the best name brand. You got the J's. You got the name brand clothes. You got the Stacey Adams. You got all the name brand stuff. But then you go in your house and it's not in order. Things aren't in order because you got pride. You got to look the part. But how about let's be the part? So yes, I'm happy with my iPhone 12, and I know the 14 is coming out this month. Huh? And guess what? I'm going to rock this 12 till the wheels fall off. Now, I know my honey wants to upgrade me and get me even maybe the 13 or get me a working phone. That's something different. But the pride in having, I got to get the best of the best. Let me tell you, I would be in line at Apple. Before I got my husband, I'd be in line at Apple, making sure that I got the new phone when it dropped hot off the press. When I got my husband, I had 2 phones. Why did I need 2 phones? Because I had too much pride. Oh, I give some people my main line, give some people my business line. Listen, I am not that grandiose. Now, yes, it is a such thing as having a business line and, getting things in order, and everybody doesn't have your personal. Yet I understand that. But I had to go through this humbling way. I had to get rid of the 2 phones because I dealt with pride. I had pride. So, pride is very destructive. Pride can cause you to do some things and hurt people and make bad choices, and pride is very terrible. So that's why I had to go through the 6 steps tonight with you guys. I'm almost done. Like I said, I don't go longer than 30 minutes. And because I didn't have too much pride, my husband did my talking points yesterday so that I can be great. We're not islands, and tonight's talking points were, number 1, pride can lead to poor choices. Okay, so yeah, we talked about that. Number 2, pride can cause you to be unapologetic. We have some people that died and didn't even say sorry to people that they hurt. Number 3, pride leads to comparison and lack of compassion, lack of contentment. I'm sorry, you're not content, and the compassion is a part of that too. Pride can cause you to be inconsiderate, absolutely inconsiderate. Number 5, pride causes you to trust your thoughts and not God's truth. Okay. Number 6, pride destroys relationships. Those are the things that pride can do. And I hope that I was able to help somebody. Every time I go live, every time I talk on my podcast, I try to share a portion of myself, because before God came in and changed me, I was a jacked up, messed up mess. Okay. I dealt with pride. I dealt with anger, anxiety. The list goes on of the things that I dealt with. So I made a vow that Miss Lady Tweet, the brand, would be used to help other people get free, get unstuck, get people out of where they are. So tonight, I hope in this Hot Topic Tuesday, we've talked about all different topics, but tonight's topic was a little, it was light. You didn't have to put the kids to bed for this one, but it's definitely about pride. It's definitely something that needs to be talked about, because a lot of people won't admit. They won't admit that they struggle in the area of pride. And it's things like that we need to address, because it's the small foxes that destroy the vine. It's the little things that they say, like, you can have a thing of fruit, and one rotten fruit will destroy the whole thing of fruit. The whole bowl of fruit will go bad because of that one rotten spot on the fruit if you let it sit too long. So you might have pride in your life that'll spill over into other things. You have pride in one area, and pretty soon, because it magnifies itself, it'll grow into something ugly. So let's not have pride tonight. Let's make sure that everything we do, we're considerate of other people. It's all about looking out for other people, and also making sure that we're healthy up here. Pride is not a healthy place to be. It'll cause your mind. Pride is stressful. It is very stressful to have too much. Some people can't even go to sleep at night because they're figuring out how they're going to make it work because they had too much pride to ask for help. Come on now. Not a good place to be. Not a good place to be. Listen, this has been your girl, Miss Lady Tweet. I appreciate everyone that will watch the replay. Thank you, honey. I see what you said. Good talk, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I love you, baby. Listen, I love my husband. He is my biggest fan, and I'm not too prideful to say it. Not too prideful to say it. Listen, I thank you all for being a part of this. I thank you all for those of you that shared it. Honey, I thank you for being on the live tonight. I thank you all that will watch the replay. Please check out my website, missladytweet.com. We have some amazing things taking place. Our women's conference, smooches, honey. Our women's conference is going down October the 30th, the 29th through the 30th, October 29th through the 30th. We still have tickets available. I need you all to go get your tickets. Please register. That's all from me. I will be on pretty soon about more. In the next few days to come, we have some more announcements that we're going to share. But that's all from me tonight. I thank you all, and you have a wonderful evening. Shalom.